with such a celebratory mood yesterday, and quite frankly, still today, it saddens me that I need to start this morning's effort by talking about Elon's salute, his so-called Nazi salute. Are you kidding me? Finance guy kind of summed it up. He got it right. Anyone who thinks that Elon Musk gave a Nazi salute is retarded. He said from his heart. It was really simple. The whole thing is made up by the left-wing media in order to harm the day, to take the steam out of the energy, mixed metaphors. Anyway, it's just ridiculous and sad. Then we have this person, whoever they are, this whale, who likes to tinker with the Tesla stock at the opening. This is not a new move based on any fundamentals, nothing to do with changes that Trump made yesterday with regard to the new Green Deal. Absolutely nothing to do with anything of the sort. We've seen this story before. We've seen it, I want to say, at least 4 times over the last 5 weeks, where somebody comes in first thing in the morning and tries to disrupt things. I don't know exactly how all that works, but you see, if it had anything to do with the fundamentals, if it had anything to do with the Nazi salute, if it had anything to do with the Trump decisions yesterday, some of the new executive orders that he made with regard to the future of EV cars being mandated as opposed to competing normally in trade, then we would have seen it in the overnights. We would have seen it in the pre-market. No, it happened in the first minute that the market opened, and it was a huge 9 million shares traded in the first few minutes of the market, and it was a planned action. So what normally happens after that? Well, normally you see the market get back on course. We'll see as the day progresses. Quite frankly, this is where I kind of think Tesla's going to end up at the end of the month. So overall, it wouldn't be a shock to me to find Tesla beginning to contemplate or make some moves that would bring it back into this range anyway between now and next Wednesday. So as you know, my number has always been 410 for the end of January, and I'm sticking with that number. Now, it could be 480. Believe me, there is nothing that would shock me less than for it to be 480 or 460. But I think it'll be 410. That's just where I think it'll be. And that's kind of just playing a game because it's really kind of irrelevant over the next couple of months, whether it's 410 or 480 on January 30th. All right, 31st, I guess, is the last day of the month. In the market overall, there was concern about, listen, I said earlier, there's going to be a tremendous amount of action, lots and lots of volatility in the market this week because Trump is doing what he promised to do. He's basically already kept about 210 promises on day one. What else do you want the president of the United States to do? You want them to keep their promises. This is extremely cool. It's a rare thing that presidents keep their promises, and he's already done it. Like hundreds of decisions that have already been made on day one that were specifically outlined in all of his speeches and all of his statements before leading up to the election. This is, you just never see it. Now, the mainstream media doesn't know what to make about this. Folks who support Trump are not surprised because this is what he did last time, although he didn't do it as fast or as effectively. But all of these changes are dramatic changes in economic principles and ways of approaching economics. We'll talk about that more later this morning. Anyway, Teslarati has this morning, says, during the week of January 13th and 19th, Tesla China's sales were up. You see, this would normally say to the market, oh, Tesla price would go up. 10,000 new vehicle registrations. For comparison, Tesla's China saw 7,800 registrations in the similar week last year. This suggests that Tesla China is up 28.21% week over week for the same period in January of last year. 3 weeks into 2025, Tesla's China new vehicle registrations are up 3.8% year over year. That would all be very, very strong, especially given that we've got a Model Y, the #1 selling car in the world, changeover, and those orders are being taken. Apparently, there's 100,000 of them already, 100,000 orders already. The product is being manufactured and shipped out to distribution centers, but they're not going to be released until, the last I heard, not till March 1. But maybe that was not true. Maybe these cars are going to start to be released sooner. Maybe over the Chinese New Year. That wouldn't surprise me at all, which I think starts maybe next week. I should look that up. Not exactly sure when Chinese New Year starts, but I think it's starting at the end of January. According to the Street this morning, they are reporting on Piper Sandler. Analyst Alexander Potter, a Tesla tending to be more a bull than not, added $185 to his Tesla price target, taking it to $500 a share in a note published Tuesday, and said investors are now more willing to entertain upside scenarios based on the potential of the group's real-world artificial intelligence. Now, normally you would say a Piper Sandler decision to raise the price target by $185 to $500 a share would be bullish and would cause the stock to go up. You see, this is the problem with what's happened so far this morning. Anyway, Potter argues that while Tesla's near-term outlook is highly uncertain, given the rollback in EV demand and questions tied to the launch of a lower-priced unit later this year, the group's shift in focus towards AI-powered gains remains compelling. Tesla is likely to deliver about 1.96 million vehicles this year. Oh, no, way more than that. Potter estimates an 11.4% advance from 2024 levels, and Elon has said 20 to 30%. I believe Elon. I believe it'll be more than that. With 100,000 incremental units from unknown vehicles and 70,000 incremental units from Cybertruck, only going from 50 to 125,000 would be not that great. I expect it to be far greater than that. Musk, however, continues to stress that Tesla's longer-term prospects are more aligned to his ambitions for AI technology, cyber taxis, energy storage, and robotics than from legacy car making. Musk says the group, well, the energy thing is already proven. Musk says the group will produce as many as 2 million autonomous cybercabs a year by 2026, and insists that 20 to 30% vehicle growth next year is likely, absent some force majeure, like some big war breaking out or interest rates going sky high or something like that. That's quoting Elon. Once Tesla fulfills its current launch pipeline, management's focus will shift away from launching new cars and towards popularizing full self-driving software, Potter said. To reflect that, we are now modeling a contribution from full self-driving licensing and value Tesla's existing businesses at just below $300 per share, inclusive of full self-driving. So that doesn't count robotaxi or Optimus. Potter says the stock is likely to be choppy over the first half of the year as what? Tesla's shares be choppy as the EV market uncertainties impact sentiment, but remains convinced that Tesla is a top buy and hold idea for 2025. Tesla is slated to post its detailed fourth quarter earnings after the close next week. We know that on the 29th, with analysts looking for a bottom line of 72 cents a share on revenues of $27.23 billion. And that would compare to AJ being at 76 cents a share. Gross profit margins, meanwhile, are forecast to widen modestly to 18.85, according to LSEG data. I had not seen this before, had you? So the overall, the street is predicting that gross profits, less, not including ZEV credits, would increase to 18.85. Wow. Okay. That's what I'm saying. That's what Brian Wong is saying. Increase in margins. Wow. Okay. That gives everybody an opportunity to have that be a miss. Oh, well. Speaking of AJ says EV struggles to compete in the United States and Europe without incentives is driven by the fact that Chinese made the vast majority of all EVs ever made, and thus they've generated a huge cost advantage. He could have included that Tesla has also generated that advantage. U.S. European consumers don't see any of this cost advantage because of the tariffs, and that's precisely why EV adoption is slowing in the U.S. and in Europe. They're not getting these $20,000, $21,000, $23,000 vehicles. EV making does not only comprise the assembly of the car, but importantly, the entire battery industry. Looking at EV manufacturing without the battery industry is like looking at ICE manufacturing without the engine industry. Well, I think that's a bad comparison. The batteries, if anything, are way more important than the motor is to an ICE car. Batteries are key. If you listen to my channel, you know I've been saying that since I wrote the book, The Elon Musk Method and the Elon Musk Mission. The batteries are what it's all about. That's the key to everything that Tesla does. You got to keep your eye on the batteries. This is Randy Kirk. Hitting like, subscribe, and notify would be phenomenal. And then by hitting notify, you'll be reminded that it'll be Nicholas Gibbs later today at about 5 o'clock, roughly, 5:15, around there. And then Brian White will be back. We will be addressing his 10 top questions for Elon Musk next Wednesday. A week from Wednesday. You could go to Patreon. That would be a phenomenal thing to do. Just go down, hit the link, jump over there, $3 a month. I think you can afford it. We are seeing in Trump's first day a masterclass in economics. Masterclass. As he does multiple things that should further reduce prices. His promise was he will reduce prices. He's been mocked. Prices. He's been mocked. Headlines have said, "Where's Musk's promise to reduce prices?" Well, in the entire time of the last administration, I didn't see a single, not one, I didn't see a single thing that administration did that was actually stated. Here's what we're doing to reduce prices. Not a single thing. But in the first day, Mr. Trump has done 3 specific things. Number one, he's increasing the amount of oil and gas that's going to come out of the ground. Oil and gas represent a massive, massive, massive tax one way or the other on humans, on Americans, okay? If the price goes up, it is a tax. If the price goes down, it reduces the tax. It's not a real tax. You know what I'm talking about. So oil and gas ripple through the entire economy. Every single thing that we touch and look at is made from plastics and other oil derivatives. Oil turns into gasoline for your car. Oil and gas turn into the way we heat our homes and our businesses. If the price goes down, your overall cost of living goes down, and that is what he's going to do. He has made multiple decisions yesterday that are going to accomplish that, specifically increasing the supply. Number 2, he gives directives to every cabinet and every agency. One of his executive orders yesterday was every cabinet agency and every cabinet officer and every agency director is responsible to report on what they are doing to cut consumer costs. I mean, it's a simple thing, but it sets the mood. It's a bully pulpit move. It's like, okay, you guys, this is a high agenda item for me. I want this to happen. And by the way, then number 3, I'm going to put DOGE front and center, who's going to go out and cut government. He's going to cut government in any way, shape, or form that DOGE can figure out to do it, whether that's cutting corruption, whether that's cutting waste, whether that's cutting entire departments. One department has already been cut entirely. The website's already gone for I forget what it's called, the DEI department, roughly speaking, is what it was. That department's already, the website's gone, and according to Musk, the department's gone. So we've already begun, and we're going to cut those departments. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that the bond market is going to go, oh, they're serious. Interest rates are going to come down. That means mortgages will come down. That means car interest rates, loans will come down. That means durable goods will go up in terms of sales because people will be able to borrow money less expensively. All of those things are going to contribute to reductions in what it costs the average consumer to live. And if that happens, people will be happy. Biden could have done any one of those things. But this, you see, is an actual plan. Well, the economic news for today, if I was to go over the economic news for today, it would take a couple of hours all by itself. Trump is threatening a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. It is a complete gambit. It is 100% designed to tell them, look, I don't want human trafficking coming across our borders. I don't want illegal immigrants coming across our borders from your countries or from other countries who are transiting, individuals who are transiting across your countries to get into the United States illegally. We want that to stop, and we want you to do everything you can do to help us stop it. It's partially your responsibility to get that done. So if you don't want to do that, that's fine. We'll put a 25% tariff on your goods. He also doesn't want fentanyl coming in, and he wants help stopping that as well. He doesn't want weapons coming in, and he wants help stopping that as well. So you see, and these countries will do it. They're not gonna say no. It's bad press anyway for them to say, no, we would rather you put a 25% tariff on us than help you stop these horrible things from happening to your country because we're not willing to do our part, take responsibility for what we need to do in order to get it done. No, that would not be a great headline. So no, we'll see that Canada and Mexico will cave and will do what's necessary to help out so that this doesn't happen. It would be really, really bad for those countries. It would not really hurt the United States very much. We have plenty of oil and natural gas. We have plenty of the things that Canada sells us. We don't need Canadian products and we don't need Mexican products. It would, it would be disruptive. But it's actually not going to happen. All right, well, the mainstream media is in worse shock today than they were on election day. Their coverage has had to switch to Elon's heartfelt salute and the body language and the clothing choices of other people that were at the event, rather than seriously taking a look at the amazing promise keeping that took place yesterday. I've said pretty much my whole life, Reagan was the first one to do it. He did it over the entire 8 years, but he had 7 things that he promised that he was going to do during his time in office, and he accomplished 6 of them. Or it might have been 8 and he accomplished 7. I can't remember. I just know that it was very, very clear. He said, this is what I'm going to do, and then he went and did it. In Trump's first term in office, that was the thing I was most impressed by, is he said, there was talk that he had a whiteboard that had the things that he promised, and that they went and they were checking off the things that he promised. This is leadership. Execution, okay, vision first, communicating the vision second to all stakeholders. All stakeholders. That means the suppliers to the U.S. government. That means the other countries around the world. That means the citizens of the United States. That means the employees of the United States. That means the military supporting the United States. You need to communicate the vision to all of the stakeholders. They need to understand what the vision is. And then there needs to be enough people behind the president, the leader, that believe in the vision, that say, yeah, that's my vision too. I will fight for that. I will pay for that. I will spend time and money and energy and talk to my neighbor about your vision because I believe in the vision. Okay, if you get all that done and then you get in and you don't execute, you're not a leader. And this is what makes Elon Musk and President Trump so special, is because they not only can do the first 3 things, then they get in and execute. I've never seen anything like yesterday. This is a triumph that should be written about in the history books, but unless we can get rid of the left-wing writers of the history books, it won't be talked about. Okay, I think the best way to really, really understand what is happening as a result of yesterday is to look at what the people that put their money where their mouth is are doing with the information that they now have. So let's go ahead and take a look at the market. All right, so Tesla was down as much as 18 at one point because of whatever that was that started the day. Tesla's still down 12 at this point. Apple is also down 8. Don't know. There's stuff happening with Apple right now. I haven't really delved into it to fully understand it, but I think that is a separate issue that really has nothing to do with the overall market. But the Dow is up 288. NASDAQ is up 24. S&P is up 24 as well. Pretty strong move by the S&P. We've got the rest of the Magnificent Seven, except Microsoft down just a bit. The rest of the Magnificent Seven are all up this morning, and the Cathie Woods are up, except for PayPal, which has been up a lot recently, looking down $1.57. All right, let's go ahead. Percentage-wise, that would be, that would be the Dow up 0.65, the NASDAQ down 0.08. I'm sorry, I'm looking at green and saying down. Something wrong, I don't know. Okay, the Dow is up 0.64, NASDAQ up 0.13, S&P up 0.5. All right, and Tesla down 2.74, but heading northward, heading towards green. I would not be shocked at all to see it back in the green today. But you also know I wouldn't be shocked to see it move back down towards this 210 level. I'm sorry, 410 level by earnings day. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead now and find out what's happening with the bonds. What do you think is happening with the bonds? Put down your estimate. Yeah, you've probably already looked, but I will bring you there anyway. The bonds are, of course, down 4.5. Now they've been down more than this. So I'm a little disappointed. We're at 4.566. Yesterday night, we were as low as, I think, 4.54. I would love to see this action continue to 4.5 or lower, but maybe this is all we're going to get today. There's going to be an infrastructure decision today of some kind. Trump has teased out that there's going to be a major infrastructure decision today. So who knows how that might impact bonds later. But anyway, I'll take 4.5 basis point negative today. 2-year is up 0.2 basis point, and the 1 month is down 0.3 of a basis point. So not much action on the shorts, but the long down nicely at 4.9 at this exact moment. All right, let's take a look at oil, which surprisingly, no, not surprisingly at all, oil is down 1.69. It was down immediately like $1 last night. Now it's down another 69 cents. So we're looking at $76 for Texas Intermediate, almost exactly $3 higher for Brent at 79 and change. And so, yes, this will be the beginning, I believe, of a steady march. We will finally get back down to that probably in the 50s. I would say, I think that Trump and OPEC during a Trump administration would be happy with around $59. We'll see what happens there. Natural gas down 3.85% starting out this morning at 3.796, falling well below the $4. That is kind of my benchmark. Gold is up $2.30, heading towards all-time highs, 27.51. I think 27.60 is all-time high. Silver following along, up 0.77 at 31.38. And copper, though, dropping 0.94. I have to think about how commodities might react over the next days and weeks. I need to think that through. 4.327 for copper. The dollar rebounding sharply, it says. And the market this morning we already talked about the Dow. Oh, I know, crypto or Bitcoin here. We're down 444 at 103,371. So basically, Bitcoin, I think, is responding. How do I think Bitcoin's responding? I think Bitcoin mostly is interested in Bitcoin. What is Trump going to do with Bitcoin, and how soon is he going to make some kind of a move? All right. So reminder that we've got Nicholas Gibbs at around 5. Reminder that we've got Brian White And he and I will talk about every product, like every product. We go through all the products. What is he's got special insights, as you know, because he's on the ground. He's an on-the-ground reporter. And so you want to take a look at what Brian White had to say last night. And then tonight, he and I will be meeting up again at 7:45 with his 10 questions. So the card for last night is right there. And then you could if you liked what I had to say today, or if you like the way I said it, or if you just like my smile, then please hit like. And then if you really like me, go down to Patreon and pony up. $3 a month, $5 a month. Come on now. It's been great. One last time. What's happening with Tesla? Well, Tesla is down 3.21%, and that would be in dollars, 1367. So it's not continuing up and to the right, but it's kind of taking a minute. So we'll see how that goes today. Nicholas Gibbs and I'll be talking about that later today. All right. It's been great talking to you.